This is our quarterly.
I know. Hello, friends. We're back again. Joel Pearl, Fightful.com, and all the other channels. You know this guy. We actually have a contractually obligated interview. Is it quarterly? Is it every half a year in person? Last one, I think, was February of last year.
It was.
So we're in November.
We did the Vegas one, then we did the one here, like over there.
We didn't do Vegas this year. We didn't do Vegas Mania week. Yeah, it was last week. That was we did Montreal.
Did do Montreal.
We did Montreal in 24. We did Vegas at the beginning of 24.
I got heat for the Montreal one.
Did you?
Yeah, Ross got to me.
Oh, well.
He was fine with it. He's like, what did you say? I was like, this, and this. He's okay.
Well, that's probably because he found out the other interview. We walked out.
We didn't even talk about that one.
We could. No, we don't need to talk
about it. What we could talk about is me being a 2-time now.
The international TNA champion, 2-time.
We're actually internationally right now for me in Canada defending it.
So we're at Northern Crown here in Toronto, Blood Brothers Brewery. Wonderful event, wonderful venue.
Wonderful lager.
Put over the booze. Why not?
No, why not? Sponsors.
Yeah. Tonight you had a triple threat match. You were against Clutch Jesse V and your TNA compatriot, Travis Williams. Retained it.
Both very good competitors. I look forward to eventually one day having singles matches with them as well. Especially Travis. Him and Judas are that team of Sinner and Saint that I don't think people know yet. They do on the independent scene, but on television, they're a different body of work because they're still trying to figure that out, which it takes time. But for them, they're very just that Motor City machine gun. They're also Rascals-esque, and it's like a play that like they're every bit of pro wrestling that I like to watch is in them and Sinner and Saint.
So let's go back a little bit. You reclaimed that title at Bound for Glory, TNA in Boston. Let's walk through that day because you had a very put together entrance. You had your fellow Marines walk you out to the ring, looked like Color Guard and other Marines. Your mom was there.
Yes.
Shout out to mothers. My mom's actually
Mama Mac.
That's right. She got herself over. So how did that all come about? And like, how's she feeling now that she's gotten herself into the TNA?
Let's get to that after, because that's the icing on the cake. Granted, having the Marine Corps there for me and about to celebrate the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps this year, or this tomorrow technically is my anniversary as well.
Oh, wonderful.
Great day together. But having the Marines there, it was the Boston recruiting station and that duty station that was up there. A bunch of the Marines were there, and it was such an honor to have them a part of something so special to me, especially to kick off the show. Having the Color Guard there, and it set the tone, and that's something that I've wanted to do for a while, is kind of bring my side, even as a babyface, even as a heel, I think it would still work. But as a babyface, I think that's just something that it shows patriotism, it shows that camaraderie, that brotherhood that the Marine Corps is. And no matter what, we always have each other's backs, whether Pogue or infantry. The Pogue is a person out of the grunt. We always give them crap for it. Just like we do the dirt sheets who are behind the scenes, who think they actually know everything about wrestling, but they don't.
I don't know anything. It's fun. I just talk to these guys. I don't really listen to them.
But no, it was such a great day. And setting that up and how it all came together was a lot of fun. And then the icing on the cake for me was right after getting stares from Frankie, that scumbag. Him going to my mother and talking that match, and to watch what unfolded and to peek behind the curtain a little bit for the spot that it was. For me, that is now one of my top moments in pro wrestling, along with winning the world title with my wife on the same night at Rebellion a few years back in 2023. But this to me was like everything in my childhood. Like I involved my mom in a moment in a match. And as soon as you see me come around that corner too on my entrance, like I started tearing up when I saw my mom sit front row. Just because it just meant so much for me to have her there, and the way she felt afterwards and the power that she said, wow, I had the crowd in the palm of my hand. I'm like, that's pro wrestling, Mom. Like originally it was supposed to be a slap, and then they had a slap later on in the main event. So we changed it, and it actually worked out better that way, where my mom putting up the double birds like I would do, which I've been fined for multiple times. But Mama Maclin putting up the double birds was so fun to watch, because you just hear just about 8,000 fans at Lowell, Massachusetts, just lose their mind for it. And it was so cool. It was just so cool to be a part of. And that's everything that I love about pro wrestling.
So when you pitched it to her and you said, hey Mom, you're going to come and, be part of the show with me, what was her reaction?
Well, she was coming anyway to watch the match. But then once like Frankie and I were kind of throwing out, he's like, would your mom hit me? I was like, I think she fucking would. I was like, I think she'd be down for it. She's my mother. So yeah, I'd hit you. But no, it was just, it was so cool. And then like, it was funny originally with the slap being there. Like, I'm like, you're going to talk to Frankie, like everything will be okay. He'll take care of you. And like she got to see Frankie the day before, and like they started talking, and I'm like, I don't want to hit him. I'm like, Mom, it's okay. Like just hit him. I was showing my mom how to properly do a slant in wrestling, which is very entertaining to teach her. My wife was hating every moment of it. Uh, but no, it was perfect, man. Like it just, like I told you earlier, like it felt like I won the title for the first time that night. Where here I am, finally full-fledged babyface in front of a crowd with a great heel opponent that people hate, and they actually wanted to like me. And then you have my mom added in there, and then you have Carlos handing me the belt in the ring afterwards with his trucker hat on.
Listen, I've been a big proponent for that trucker hat.
Doing all our merch, I think, on TNA Shop.
I'm sure it is. It's an easy hat. It's just 3 letters, wrestling. You get it. $35. I'm not shilling this thing anyway. Keep going. So we get past Matt McClure. What's funny is you're talking about, training your mom. This comes to 2 questions. One, aspirations for your mom to get in the room with you and maybe go after the gender tag team titles.
No, I don't think those will be back. Maybe they will. Who knows? For me, no. My mom having that moment, and then just to be there in the crowd. My buddy Marcus and his wife Nicole were there, who just retired from the Marines Corps. So it was just a really good weekend, and have my wife backstage. And it was such a cool moment to just share that with my family. And like, that's the one thing for me in wrestling is like, as much as a family oriented locker room it is. And that was another good thing too. My mom said was like, she walked around and just watched people, and she's like me. She just noticed this thing. She said, wow, this place actually, like, people are really like family here. Like they take care of one another. I'm like, oh, that's what TNA is built up. And it's always been that.
So speaking of family, you and your wife, Deonna Purrazzo, have started a new venture. We've been really lucky to not only have the two of you on to talk on In the Weeds about Boots to Boots, the new podcast that you both started, but now you're a few more episodes in and you started interviewing guests. How do you feel? How is the podcasting game for you? And I won't ask you to answer for Deonna, but I'm sure the two of you have at least discussed what it's felt to be in this new world.
It's a different body of work for me because we feed off of each other well, but now it's like going into interviews, and I'm very much the kid that shows up to the school project that doesn't want to do anything except just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And that's kind of what we do. But like, I have my tidbits that I throw in there of like ideas, but like, this was my wife's idea to start off, and she threw it by me. Like, yeah, why not? Like, what do we have to lose? Like, we're getting a good message out there. We're helping people. We're being a voice or an ear for someone else that is in need, that is going through those transitions of putting on a new pair of boots. And it's not just combat boots. And that's what we based it off of, was my military transition going into the wrestling world or the civilian world. Like, how was that for you? It's like, nobody really has that conversation in general for anybody. Like, if you lost your job tomorrow, like, you have to put on another pair of boots. So I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, where are you going to get advice? Who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to listen to? So that's kind of where we're trying to be as a couple, but also as just a voice together. And our work with Tunnel to Towers, like, has been such an inspiration for that, because we're meeting all walks of life now across the veteran community, the NHL community. Our NHL episodes are going to, from the Heroes Cup that we just did with Tunnel to Towers, they're going to be airing within the next few weeks. We have our anniversary episode coming out tomorrow, which I'm not sure when this airs, but that comes out tomorrow, where we're talking a lot about this too. But for us, it's so much fun, man. Like, I get to hang out with my wife's my best friend, and we feed off of each other. We know each other well, where I know if I say something, she'll give me a look, and we don't go that way. But if I want to go to push those buttons, she's okay with it.
So has she been training you in this whole podcasting realm?
She loves when I use the word vernacular, and she can't stand that too. So it's just funny where she's getting me out of my comfort zone too, where I've always kind of been that hard-headed, straight-faced Marine, and people really never saw that soft side of me. So for me to kind of open up a little bit more, have some fun, and show the world, that has kind of helped me, especially in the wrestling world too, being a babyface. And it's just, dude, it's the best. I get to do a podcast with my wife. Never thought I'd be on a podcast. And I know the cliche of like, oh, another wrestling podcast. It's not a wrestling podcast.
No, it's something that Jeremy, my co-host on In the Weeds, for those who don't know, Jeremy, who does all the transcriptions, all the writing, listens to a billion interviews. That's one of the things that he really enjoys. And I'll put words in his mouth. It's the fact that you guys aren't doing a wrestling podcast. You do have wrestlers on, but it's not about booking. It's not about your spot. It's about what you've done to get to the places you're in and how you adapt to different opportunities.
We had the infantry on there for an episode, and those guys are prior military, but we talked about their transition from the military into pro wrestling, or like taking that leap from having a full-time job while training for pro wrestling, and then just throwing all into pro wrestling, and like, it paid off for them. They're ROH 6-man tag team champions. And it's something so cool to get those stories out there, because some people need to hear that. Even if we reach one person, that's all that matters for us. Is just we get that one person that it gives help to. Same with Cesar Bononi. Cesar on there, he tried so hard for so long with AEW, with WWE, and it just didn't work out. And now he's fallen into his niche of being the trainer of champions.
Yeah.
Like he has Mike Santana, his Ethan Page. I know there's some other, Eddie Kingston's on there. He's with Eddie Kingston on there. He's worked with my wife and I, and there. It's just we've learned so much, and we've made these connections throughout pro wrestling that's now evolved into our normal life because pro wrestling's never going to be forever. It's all right. What's next? Whether it's us keep podcasting, but we're getting those stories of other people that have branched into other worlds.
Be remiss if I didn't ask what's next, because there's a contract conversation to be had.
Yeah,
with Select, we did put it out there at the end of the year. Have you been thinking about it? Is it obviously something on your mind? Open up a little bit about kind of your feelings as you start to wind down on that contract, at least.
I'll keep that a little close to me on that one.
I'm not asking where you're going, although I'd love to hear it. But like, just your feelings as this time. This is a time to maybe reminisce or maybe look back on what's been happening in your life the last little while.
I had 7.5 years with WWE. I've been with TNA now almost 4.5. I've had a great career for 13, 14 years about now. And I'm coming up almost on my anniversary, my first match ever in 2012. And I met my wife. I have my house. I have my dogs. I got my mom involved in it. Like I've had so many great moments. I wrestled as a tag team with my best friend. My time in NXT, I've been a world champion, a 2-time TNA international champion, champion all over the independents as well. And I get to travel the world and just have fun. And that's what I'm enjoying the most. And when the contract does come up, whether I stay or whether I go, you'll figure that out. But I don't want to leave TNA. I've made that known to them. And I love my home. I think I found my home. And I've had a person like Josh Alexander tell me from the day that I was there, he's like, yeah, you're not an outside guy anymore. Like you never were. You have those former WWE guys that come in, but for me, I'm a homegrown TNA guy, and that's kind of where my heart's at. But at the same time, like it's also a business, and that's how I work, and it's always that way. And my family comes first.
Speaking of first, I want to go way, way back. Howcast. There is a series of videos out there, as I have been introduced to.
By me.
Yes, by you. You don't want to blow the spot, but here we are. Tommy Maclin, the young Tommy Maclin, doing various holds when you were training at the Monster Factory with Larry Sharp. And talk to me about this, because I hadn't seen this. Yes, you did turn me on to these, and I was just flabbergasted because I see a lot of stuff. How did I miss this?
I don't know how it just came up with conversation, but I was like, hey, have you ever seen me do the Howcast? Because then I remember when they had the Chinese recruits come to the PC, and Leo was one of these like, oh, I watched you on YouTube. What are you talking about? So I learned to wrestle from you. I'm like, okay. And then he's pulling up the Howcast. Oh, crap. I'm like, that's still out there? So me as Tommy Maclin, when I got my start at the Monster Factory, I wanted to have a wrestling name that was opposite of my real name. So I wanted to come up with a gimmick, and I came up with the trademark Tommy Maclin. I looked good. I was a white meat babyface. It's like, I'm a trademark guy. I'm a cookie cutter looking guy. Why not play into that? But I was also a douche wheel, which was fun. So myself and Mike Spanos with Larry Sharp, we did a bunch of different Howcast videos that we're supposed to get paid for. We never did. Whatever. That's pro wrestling.
Several years ago.
You learn something in pro wrestling. That's one of those moments that, oh, you're supposed to get paid for this. Oh, cool. Never saw that.
Howcast, let's go.
They called it $1 million wound. Still haven't seen a penny of that. But no, it's really cool. So check it out on YouTube on Howcast. You see myself doing different variations. Also, Mike Spanos, my old tag partner when I first started off at the Monster Factory at Larry.
Saw a picture of you and Deonna at DBX in Nashville for Dirty Boxing.
Yeah.
That was Gable Stevenson was on.
It was.
How was he? I didn't see the match. I didn't see how he fought. How did it go? I just want your opinion, because you were.
It was so we were there just to watch. We were ringside watching knockout. I was there to watch fights, and she's like, we're going to Nashville, and her publicist Joanna is one that got us set up with her because she works there as well. It's one of her affiliated companies. So we're sitting there ringside, and then I see Gable Stevenson. Like, oh shit! All right, let's see how this kid does. And he won in 15 seconds. I was surprised. Because he came out, he had that presence to him, and I know he's an amateur wrestler, but I'm all right. Like, let's see how he is as a striker. And like, I love boxing. I grew up loving boxing. I'm not the biggest MMA fan, but I love the style of boxing, just the sport. And it just, I was very happy for him, very pleased.
Hey, I mentioned Jeremy earlier. I did have an ulterior motive for this conversation. This past week on the Open Fight Night episode of Impact, there was a video. TNA's looking for Mr. Elegance.
Is it me?
Well, first of all, would you like to be Mr. Elegance?
I think I'm pretty elegant.
Yeah. Plus, you get a 1-year TNA contract, according to George. Sorry, the personal concierge.
Nice. That actually is a good way to segue into a new contract.
I like it.
Imagine me suited up and all elegant and slick back hair, clean shaven.
You're a handsome man.
I am a handsome man.
You know, we saw the photos from Mance and Steph Delander's wedding. Congratulations.
Which is a great wedding, by the way. That was a lot of
beautiful.
It was a lot of fun, and it was like kind of like going to a wrestling convention in its own way too, just because everybody was there and we haven't seen each other. A lot of people, so it was like just good. It was just one of those moments where it was good to catch up. We're there with good people. It was a great wedding, and it was perfect for them. I even told Steph and Mance, I'm like, "This is your wedding," and it was beautiful.
Yeah. Especially if you as a groom can rock cowboy boots and shorts.
Well, it's also Mance.
The rest of it's Mance. I know he can get away with anything.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And then seeing Cardona as a bridesmaid.
Well, hey,
it's even better. Oh, there he is.
Steve Maclin calls coffee Dava.
I do. So if you want to know the Dava story,
I do.
So it was Gigi, myself, and Josh Alexander in a car, and I'm sitting there looking at his neon sign. What the fuck is Dava? And they look at me. They're like, "That's a J." It was in cursive. I'm like, "Oh, come on." And now I can't live down a cup of Dava. It was a J. It looked like a D. Whatever. I have my moments.
Open the schools. Open the schools.
Open the schools. That's that New Jersey education right there for you. That's why I went in the Marine Corps.
So really what it was with the Mr. Elegance is Jeremy Lambert, whom you know just as well, is thinking that he can be Mr. Elegance. Do you think Jeremy could be Mr. Elegance? No.
Gotta hit a gym.
He runs. He planks. He's got a gas tank, allegedly.
All right. Well, I can see that. He could be one of those like MMA guys that comes out and you look at it like, there's no way. And then he kicks the crap out of somebody. So you never, you know what? I shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Everyone sees that one tall, and he's tall, by the way, tall, lanky dudes. And you're just like, ain't no way. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there is a way. Put him in a suit. I've seen him in a suit. It's.
I wish they did like it. To me, I would love an idea where they did almost like The Bachelor, the Rosals.
You could do it. There's still time.
There's plenty of time. You can bring back Wrestling House.
Oh God. You know, who did I ask? I asked Doc Gallows about if he was pitched Wrestle House, because when they came in, they were just about to film it. He's like, no, they didn't want me on that.
I love when they had their own version of Fight Fit at their show. That was one of my favorite. I love those brothers. There's some good. They literally live up to the name Good Brothers. I miss those brothers.
You got people being like, "That's a terrible name." It's like, no, not once you get to understand why. You fully do. So the last thing I want to talk about is going back to Slammiversary. We was that when you lost? No, when did you lose the international championship? Was that Victory Road?
Victory Road.
It was Victory Road.
With Almacias.
What happened? Something happened to Slammiversary that we were talking about, and now it's completely killing me. But it had to do maybe with just maybe it's just, you know what?
Slammiversary was the fourth rope match. We don't have to talk.
That was the fourth rope. We don't talk about that. So maybe it was around the time when Ridge Holland was coming in.
Yes.
And this wasn't something that was like.
So I was trying to pitch ideas of, all right, what we had this crossover and we have this working relationship with WWE. All right, what international talent can I get from WWE that they're not using? NXT, main roster. And I had the wild pitches. I pitched Sheamus. I pitched Pete Dunne. Like Pete Dunne and I wanted to have a match for him and I at Slammiversary, which I think if that was to happen, like would be a great freaking match. And it's something I wanted. And I think he just had his second child. So I think he was on, was it terminal leave? Not pat leave. So I think that just kind of hindered that plan. But I pitched an idea with me and Ridge Holland, and it built a storyline for a crossover for about 8 weeks that led into Slammiversary that just intertwined us, where he was mostly the hitman for Martin Stone. Or not Martin Stone.
Oh my gosh.
What's the Stooge names?
Oh my God. The Great Hands. That's Stooges. That's tag team.
No. He's the GM, helpful GM at NXT as well. He's also the Evolve.
Stone.
Robert Stone.
Robbie,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Robbie E. That's why I'm saying Stone.
We all watch Evolve.
Yes. So Robbie E and I sent him the idea too, and he's like, "Oh no, he's like, this could work." Just because when he was there doing the GM stuff, counter of Santino, I was like, "Oh, this is great! Like, I love this." I wanted him to come and take over TNA, and I just thought it would have been a good story to run with. So I was just trying to find different ways to incorporate everything from NXT in our relationship, just because that's ebbs and flows. It's just everybody's involved, everybody has a good story. He's going to involve my old tag partner as well, Wesley Blake. See if I can try to work that, but just didn't pan out.
So with Ridge, I am curious because he's been in the news and whatever's going on with him. I think a lot more people need to understand why you would pitch Ridge when there are so many other people that you could pick, and this is the guy that you brought up?
He's a guy I've known for a long time, and he was just kind of on the sidelines. I'm all right, what are they doing with you? He's like, nothing. I'm like, he's Australian, like he's a rugby player and he's international. It's an international title. Like, let me get an international title. So like, how can I help uplift somebody in their career as well, but also helping myself make this title mean? And he was one of those names that just stood out to me because I was just like, who is there on the roster that's just not being used in NXT? And just I was in that position so many times, and it's just like, how do I help that person now?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
yes,
we're dealing with what we're dealing with.
We live in a business world where it's cutthroat, and that's just the way it is, and you can't change the way it is because it's entertainment.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was very interesting that of all the people to pitch, he's the one that would come up. But again, there were so many others. But again, it makes perfect sense. He's a big dude. He's a talented dude.
It would have been a tough hitting match,
yeah,
and it would have just been just two men beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Just, I think what most people want to see nowadays.
So as we film this, you're going to be heading back to Orlando soon because we're heading to Full Sail, and TNA is back up for the rest of the year, live on Thursday for Impact, and then you got Turning Point, and then after that, a couple nights taping, and then back to El Paso,
which I'm excited for, dude. El Paso last year, or no,
back in March.
Yeah, so it was this year. That is still to me one of the hottest crowds we've been in front of in a very long time, and the energy that they brought, and then even having Chavo there and just seeing that, just the heritage and the tribute and the love for Eddie Guerrero still was so cool to see. And it was just fun to even do the little bit of the Eddie shimmy. I'm like, oh wow, this is fun. I was like, these people are eating this up. Thank you. Because I loved Eddie. He was one of my favorite wrestlers to watch, and him and Chavo as a tag team was so entertaining to watch. And Chavo is still good at what he does, and I don't think people give the credit for him just because of Eddie as well.
Yeah.
But because Eddie's Eddie.
Okay,
but like Chavo, he does all the stunt work now for most movies that are dealing with wrestling. I know he did a lot of stuff with Iron Claw, and also Heels.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just El Paso's amazing.
So looking forward to that.
No, I'm looking for, especially the holiday season.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be cold in Texas, which is weird. But it'll be fun to just kind of, people are getting ready to gear up for the holidays. We have 3 days of TV there, and I'm excited for it.
Last question. Be remiss if I didn't ask. How did you spend the last month? No, I'm just kidding.
How did I spend the last month?
How did you spend the last month?
Of the year?
Of October.
Oh, how did I spend the last month?
Yeah,
I've just been working.
It's mostly a joke because TNA was
the hiatus.
The hiatus.
Hey, you take advantage of those opportunities, and that lets me to, if you're giving me the time off to kind of refit, that's my goal. Because this business is very, not so much, you don't have those off days, and everybody's always banged up. They'll never say they're injured, but people are banged up in this. And if you can take the time and you have the ability to take that time off and rest and heal up, get the treatment you need, and also just hit the gym and just get back in the schedule, and then also just enjoy that time home. That's like, we're very lucky in this generation of wrestling where it's not that 360 days on the road. Like the TNA schedule is very awesome to me. I get to be home with my family. I get to work the independence when I want, which I love. I get to control that side of my schedule, but I also get to work my TV schedule.
And it's an easy schedule to keep.
Yeah.
And you can come to places like Toronto and work Northern Crown
in a brewery
and get a nice drink afterwards.
Dude, it's I'm having fun in the wrestling world right now. I'm 38 years old. I still feel like I'm 25.
Good.
And I'm just having fun.
As you should.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, with like Blake used to say it to me all the time, whenever we'd be on the road and we just be pissed off or like just not happy with Trey, like what are we not doing that we need to be seen so we can get pushed on television? And he's like, dude, all we ever wanted to do is be pro wrestlers. And then like I think of that a lot of times. Like at the end of the day, that's really it. When you were a kid, I was just doing pedigrees, sweet chin musics, jumping off my garage just because I loved pro wrestling. And it's at the end of the day, the main event of Mania, it's not going to happen for everybody. If you're that select few and that happens for you, good on you. Work for it, make that a goal. But if it doesn't happen, know that it can't happen.
If you did a Mania main event, what do you think your promotional crossover would be? Because now everyone's got some sort of gimmick crossover type of match, right? Not a gimmick match, but a
sponsor
match.
Dude wipes. Just because of my time in the Marine Corps and having to use baby wipes for so long.
All right.
That'd be a pretty good sale on that one. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, all right. I think I did my due diligence with that one.
Dude. Welcome everybody to WrestleMania.
Yeah, you're going to be doing
instead of Stacker 2, or Lug's boot, or Lugs, yeah. Or Jack, or JVC Kaboom Box. It's fucking dude wipes.
They have the dude wipes walking around at Mania in Vegas too. I saw it. We all
Listen,
saw it.
There's sponsors, and you do it. It's entertainment.
Absolutely.
What we do is entertainment.
And if you're not entertaining, then what are we doing?
I don't know. So a wise man once said, "If you can't get over as a top guy, be funny."
I'm just kidding. I was going to say, well, what's your excuse? I was being a dick. I know this is again.
Why kick and punch?
This is why it's contractually
I put the
obligated.
fear of God in people.
That's true. I think I'm good with you.
Yeah,
we're good at all.
We're good.
This is I'm sure.
We've become good friends out of this, so it's
kind of upset.
We've become good friends.
Yeah,
talking wrestling and just shooting shit.
This.
Maybe we'll have you on the podcast one day.
Hey, if there's ever a spot and nobody wants to listen to it, I am there.
So I think people are listening to it. I love that people are tuning into it.
No. I know people are listening to your episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the one y'all bring me into.
I'm sure you have some good advice to give in there, because I know you wanted to train to get into pro wrestling when you were younger.
I mean, very, very.
No, I know, but then you were smart enough to realize, I can't do this. Let me find my other way of getting into the world of pro wrestling. I love for it, which wrestling's not for everybody, but there's always a spot for somebody if they love pro wrestling.
I came in as a guy who was, in the pandemic. I was working in nonprofit. This is now an episode of Boots to Boots. I'm sorry. I pivoted out of the pandemic and I ended up doing stuff at Fightful, and here we are. Now I get to,
put on your Fightful boots.
That's true.
You're dirt writing boots.
So, well, I don't do the writing. I do the talking. I host a show. I metal mouth my way through this whole thing. So you know who he is. You want to put yourself over for the
guys? If you don't follow me at Steve Maclin on Instagram and on X, also follow my wife Deonna the Virtuosa and Purrazzo. should include my wife's last name.
Probably say her last name. If they haven't figured out by now who your wife is, then I don't know.
She is the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo. And also we have our show Boots to Boots. We just filmed some of our finale episodes for the year leading into the new season. So please leave comments, like, share, subscribe. Please tell us how you feel and what guests, or if you have questions for us, or if you have a pair of boots that you're putting on right now, tell us what pair of boots you're wearing. We want to get those life stories out there for everyone. Just because somebody has a voice, somebody has an ear that needs to hear that.
Well, you know who he is. You know who I am. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.